Friends, martial law has been declared in a U.S. allies country. This is a major U.S. ally where the United States has many U.S. troops deployed. This is a huge, huge story, the biggest story of the day, if not the week, if not the month. South Korea's President Yoon has declared martial law. Now, this is huge. We're not talking about sort of martial law. We're not talking about whatever. He has deployed troops outside the Parliament building to block anyone's entrance and has banned all, quote, political activity, including the meeting of the Parliament. The National Assembly building has been shut off by troops around there. Now, we have gotten word that rising to the challenge, the MPs, the representatives of the people, have eventually gotten into the building. We'll get into that. And voted to end the martial law. However, the state of martial law has not ended. People think that just because Parliament voted for it, that it's over. And it is unclear as of this moment whether they are currently under martial law, whether whether the Korean military is still in command of the government, or whether the Parliament has been able to seize power from the president. All right, we're going to talk about this because this is a huge deal. We're talking about the 14th largest economy in the world, and it's not a highly populous country, okay? There's not nearly as many people there as the United States or other major players in the economy, right? And so it punches well above its weight. You've probably heard of a few of the brands. Samsung, that is a Korean company. Kia, that's a Korean company. Hyundai, that is Korean. They make cars, they make phones, they make tablets, they make laptops, they make electronics of all sorts. This is a country that is on par with Japan. Okay, this is a major economy. I mentioned just a few days ago when we were talking about liquefied natural gas getting over to Europe. I mentioned that 30% of all liquefied natural gas tankers are being built in Korea. Not only that, but the United States has a large number of U.S. troops in Korea as part of the armistice or or at least the agreements, the treaties with North Korea that keep us, even though we're technically still in a state of war with North Korea. We have peace along the demilitarized zone, the DMZ. The United States and Korean forces actively monitor and patrol the DMZ. I believe I didn't look it up, but I believe we have about 30,000 troops by treaty. We're only allowed to have that many in Korea. But it's a major deployment for the U.S. military. And to say that President Yoon declared martial law in Korea without consultation with the United States, I think is a stretch. You don't go and declare martial law when you have 30,000 troops of another country in your country without consulting them first. All right, so let's get into this. One, why did he declare martial law? According to his own words, Yoon said on Tuesday that martial law would remain in effect until he could, quote, eradicate such anti-state forces and the culprits of the country's ruin, who have committed evil acts up until now. That's pretty strong statements there. Now, a couple points that we need to lay out. One, President Yoon is facing impeachment. The opposition party in Parliament has threatened to impeach him, and the opposition party actually accused him that he would declare martial law in order to avoid being impeached. To which he replied, just like another president I can remember, said he would not do that. And now he has done that. So he has lost an election. He lost control of Parliament. Parliament is now trying to resist some of his overreaches. He charged them with trying to paralyze his government. They wanted to cut $2.8 billion from their $483 billion budget that he had proposed. So he proposes $483 billion, which is, let's just say, bigger than last year. And the opposition party wanted to take a tiny sliver out of that, of $2.8 billion. To which he freaks out and sends the military to the streets and to block Parliament from meeting, to seize control of the media. Yes, that's part of this too. That all media had to submit all of their stories and all of their everything to the government for approval. Yeah, this is legit martial law. We haven't seen martial law like this in Korea since the 1980s, when they weren't really exactly democratic. You know what I mean? So he sends his troops to block Parliament from meeting. The National Assembly building is blockaded by troops. Korean MPs, there were a few Korean MPs inside the building when they locked it down. But not a quorum. So they didn't have enough to actually hold a full parliamentary session. So other Korean MPs, braving the dangers, climbed fences and were able to breach the National Assembly building and were able to climb into the National Assembly building with assistance. They were able to get a quorum inside the building to call into session the Parliament. At which time, when news got out that this was happening, Korean special forces were ordered into the building to break up the illegal assembly. They were resisted, and the Koreans had barricaded the doors themselves from the inside, and the special forces were in the process of breaking down those doors and getting in to break up the parliamentary session when they called the session to order and immediately voted unanimously to withdraw the martial law order. So this is not just the opposition, but also President Yoon's party also agreeing that this is totally improper. The South Korean opposition was, unsurprisingly, opposed to Yoon's declaration of martial law, but so was Han Dong-hoon, the leader of Yoon's People Power Party. Han issued a statement on Tuesday that said that he would oppose the declaration of martial law alongside the people. The president's declaration of martial law is wrong. This is his own party. There's no reason to declare martial law. We cannot let the military rule this country. And this is important here too, that Yoon himself has been fending off calls for independent investigations into several scandals involving his wife, Kim Keen-hee, and top officials from his party. Yoon and Kim are accused of interfering in the party's choice of candidate for a legislative seat on behest of a powerful supporter. He has 25% approval ratings. This is before this. And his party itself is polling at 32%. While the opposition, the Democratic Party, which is different than the U.S. Democratic Party, but sits at 45%. So he lost popularity, and his opposition is moving forward to impeach him on crimes. So he declared martial law, declaring that everyone who opposed him is siding with North Korea. Absolutely insane. Now, once they voted on the floor of the Parliament or on the National Assembly building floor, the special operations, special forces that were breaking into the building were able to get in. They heard of the vote, and now they had to choose. Are they going to abide by the President's declaration of martial law, or are they going to abide by the Parliament's revocation of that martial law. The troops that came into the building decided to honor the Parliament's rescission of the martial law, and they left. Not only that, but the troops blockading the outside of the building apparently left as well. Now, like I said, a lot of people saying the story is over, but the Blue House, yes, they have a blue house, not a white house, which kind of makes sense. Why does it have to be white, right? So the president in the Blue House has not said a word. He has not said, okay, so the martial law is over. So last anyone's heard from the Blue House and the president has been that martial law is in force. Anyone who conducts illegal political activities will be arrested, and that the media is to be fully under the control of the military. At least one general was quoted after the Parliament's vote saying that martial law was still in force. So, we're waiting to hear if military troops that have been deployed to cities will stand down, but we're talking about troops in the streets, tanks in the streets in Korea, a major U.S. ally. The United States State Department, according to the embassy in Korea, they said that they're monitoring the situation closely and that people should just listen to the news. Wow, that's quite a statement. President Biden, still in Angola, one of the most corrupt countries in the world, right after he did one of the most corrupt things in the history of the United States by pardoning his son for 11 years worth of crimes that we may or may not know about as of yet. So, we'll see how this thing plays out in Korea. United States apparently not taking any sides publicly at this time. However, like I said, it would be extremely surprising if President Yoon had not cleared this first with the U.S. military or the U.S. State Department. Whether this was a private phone call with President Biden or whether, however he had contact, probably had some sort of contact, and the fact that the United States government did not immediately condemn this grab of power is also very telling. Other countries have responded already condemning the action, but the United States is still silent up to this point. With the backing of the United States, will the president try to press things? Will the Korean military go along with things? The imposition of martial law was not a complete surprise, as the DP, the Democratic Party, accused Yoon of plotting to do exactly that in September. The DP said Yoon would impose martial law to prevent the parliament from impeaching him for abuse of power, touching off a storm of angry denials and counter-accusations. Yeah. Sound familiar? Sound familiar, friends? We are not far from martial law at any time in any of these democratic countries. Now, Korea has had a more recent history of martial law. Like I said, early 1980s, they had unified military control. And it is interesting that the United States has allied itself with so many countries that were not democratically elected. Like Taiwan was not democratically elected until recently. Korea was not democratically run until recently. Both those countries have long histories of military juntas and strong military generals that have ruled the countries. But the United States' principles only run as long as they are in agreement with the United States' priorities and desires for the world. We will keep you updated on things as they unfold here. Hopefully, the optimists out there who said, oh, well, the parliament voted for it. hopefully that is the beginning of the end to this martial law. Hopefully the military units do stand down and reaffirm their commitment to the Constitution in the country there and to the Parliament. But military units have to choose, and we're going to be hearing that trickle out over the coming hours, because we can't really trust what the media is saying right now, because the media is theoretically under the control of the Korean military. Lots of cell phones out, lots of people posting videos and pictures. A lot of that happening in Korean, so that makes things a little more difficult on my end. But we will keep you updated on what's going on with that as things come out. Things to learn from that for sure. And like I said, U.S. troops kind of in harm's way being in that country as of now. Now, they're not a focus of any of this at this point. U.S. military is mostly liked by both parties and stuff. United States is coming over and defending Korea free of charge, so there is that. All right, friends, if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.